Right, so welcome to another Champions Journey special interview with a absolute hero who is not just a legend of online business and affiliate marketing, but also a good mate of mine. We've done all sorts of adventures all over the world together. One that particularly springs to mind is skiing in Chamonix. But David Holbrook, welcome, my friend. Really good to have you here. How are you doing, bud?
Hi Dan, yeah, great to be here. I'm doing really well, thank you.
Awesome.
It's good to see you. Thanks for having me on the call.
Anytime, my friend. It's going to be a pleasure to learn from you and just hear about your journey and really give someone who's thinking of starting affiliate marketing or maybe curious about what it is, a bit of an insight into the journey that you took, why you started, and some of the results that you created. So, just a quick headline of who you are and what you've been able to do. Dave joined or started your first business in, was it 2017? Is that right?
Yeah, that's when I joined. That's when I actually signed up and started 2017. Yeah.
Got it. And then you hit six figures in revenue in your business within 11 months, and you have since then had a $50,000 month, if I'm correct. That is absolutely awesome, mate. So little congratulations, first of all.
Thank you, bud. Yeah, that
Well
was my peak.
That was your peak. Love it. So tell us a little bit, mate, about, let's go back to before you started. So before you began your first company, before you even knew about affiliate marketing or what it was, what was life like? What were you up to? What were you doing with your time, and how were you earning money all the way back then?
Sure. Yeah. So life back then was still great. I've been most of my work back then as a freelance videographer. So self-employed photographer, videographer, making films, which I still do now and I still love. Back then it was just, that's all I was pretty much doing. Or, well, I was doing a few other things I'm an artist and doing other various bits of work, but mainly I was a videographer. That was like my main income stream. So life was still great, but I was just working very hard, traveling around the country a lot. And so I'm always open for new opportunities. And yeah, I mean, it was still good, but discovering what I've learned now, how I got into this, and has just made a huge difference. So yeah, back then, before all this, basically, yeah, I had absolutely zero idea about affiliate marketing on the online space. Basically, working very hard and making good money, but traveling a lot and getting quite tired with traveling from one side of the country to the other to make ends meet.
And that was that wasn't just traveling as in fun and adventure, was it? That was traveling for work and to meet clients, and you're basically accountable. Like you had to be certain places at certain times, didn't you?
Yeah. So I was doing a lot of my filming. I'd be up in London making videos and films for people, and then I'd be just as soon as I drive all the way back home and start editing a film, you get the next email coming in saying, "Can you come to Scotland and film a wedding?" And you're like, yes, but right, okay. So you just, you're traveling. It's a lot of travel. And you can't turn work down because work breeds work in that industry. You turn up somewhere, create a film for someone, and they share it with all their friends. And the next thing you know, that's your marketing done, and you're getting emails coming through. I saw that wedding. Can you do mine? Which is amazing, and I love that.
Yeah.
But you get quite exhausted of all the travel. Was something that was holding me. Yeah, that's me like grip, like right, I'm traveling a lot.
Yeah, it's like that was controlling where you could be and what you could do with your time, and essentially it was like dictating your life was where you had to be, right?
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, selling artwork as well, as an artist, so that was good. So that kind of was like an additional income. So I enjoyed that. But yeah, I've always been open minded to other business opportunity things. So back then, I was like, what else can I be doing with my time?
Yeah. And was it really the travel was the main reason that you started looking into new things, do you reckon, or were there any other factors that made you want to change your situation?
I wasn't actually specifically looking for anything else. I do remember just always being slightly sort of open-minded to opportunities, but I wasn't particularly looking. No, so the thing about it's because my goal really has always sort of been self-employed, but how do I put it? I didn't, say for instance with videography, I didn't really have any aspirations to turn it into a large production company. I wanted to be like my own boss I mean, you should still be if you own a production company. But what I mean is scaling it was the challenge.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't planning to like bring on I employ people occasionally, but not like growing it into a larger production business. So the scaling is challenging because you can only realistically charge a certain amount if it's just a one-man band gig, which I was doing. So in terms of leveraging and scaling, that's the challenge. That's the challenge I faced. Because I charge sort of like slightly more money for certain work that I would do, but there's only a limit to how much work you can actually then physically do. Even if you get a price, how do you leverage and scale that? Really, it's okay. Well, you need to turn this into a production company and you start to grow and grow. And I think that's where I was like, I'm not sure if that's the route I want to take at this time. And that's when I just then discovered, educating myself in other ways.
Yeah. So to summarize what you're saying, it sounds like the freedom and flexibility was important to you, but you didn't really have that with what you were currently doing. And you were looking at the potential future of that path you were going down with the videography side of things. Do you go and then create a production company, but then you're going to have to employ lots of staff and you still be accountable. But then if you don't do that, there were limitations. There was like a ceiling on what you could earn as a one-man band. And so with all of that in mind, what was missing was like leverage and something that would enable you to actually create the freedom and have the flexibility and not be accountable to clients expecting you to be somewhere or employees as you scale a company and all of that kind of stuff. And it sounds like affiliate marketing was what ticked a lot of those boxes for you. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it, mate. You've nailed the head. Nailed the head.
Nailed the head.
Nailed the head. That's the thing, is the freedom and the independence that I've always wanted in life. That absolute kind of just a lone wolf maverick doing my thing. You know what I mean? And so I've always been resistant to say, getting too tied down into sort of something, and hence that whole, I think, loving the sort of independent videographer, because I could just cut around, answer to no one except myself, do my own thing. But realizing that then, that you have to be accountable to the work. You have to, which of course you do, you've got to work hard and go places, but your freedom is then obviously slightly gripped, and you're trying to scale, and you're sort of getting a bit struggled. So and that is then when because I spent half my life on a computer, discovered, and it wasn't necessarily affiliate marketing. It was just that it wasn't like, I'm looking for affiliate marketing. It was I was just open to other opportunities. That so happened to then be affiliate marketing back in 2017, which opened me up to that, and was an incredibly exciting new skill set to learn and journey to go down, which has given me so much more freedom, so much more.
Got it.
Yeah,
that's awesome, mate. And what was it about affiliate marketing that ticked the boxes for you? Like, why did affiliate marketing enable you to have freedom, to have leverage, to create all of these things that you wanted?
Well, I think so firstly, obviously, the bit, affiliate marketing, why I'm such a big fan and absolutely loved it, is because you're leveraging a fantastic product or service or education product that's already there and proven. And if you're a part of something that's already proven and good quality, that gives value to people, then you can just leverage that, and you can leverage it from your laptop. And you have to work hard and your time invested, but you can invest your time very easily wherever you are and leverage that. So that's why I loved it, because I could spend as much time on it as I liked, but my time could be spent anywhere. So I could still go traveling, I could be where I want to be at home, and I can scale it, unlike I couldn't scale what I was doing before. So the amount of work I put into it, I still have to put a lot of work into it. I have to put work into anything, but then suddenly you sort of see that curve paying off and your leverage starts to work. And so you can start putting less time into it because you've got the train moving. So the thing I loved about it is being able to leverage something. And once you've got the momentum, you can find less and less time into it. As your skill set grows, you realize that you're doing pretty well and your input can be less and less. You have to sort of bounce in and out of it, but got
it.
Yeah.
So it's like that the difference, Dave, between, if you compare the videography route versus the affiliate marketing route, It sounds like the key was that affiliate marketing, you're leveraging other businesses, products, and services. But with the videography route, you had to fulfill the service, and it was the fulfillment of the service that meant you were tied down. You had to go and do the job, right? But with affiliate marketing, you can refer other people to the company that then provides the products and service, and you're stepping back, and you're doing it in a way that was leveraged and automated. So for example, video marketing, where you're not actually having to be there, you're not actually having to talk to people, you can like create, well, a sales funnel is terminology that we'd use in the industry, but you can create a systemized way of connecting with people, delivering value, recommending them a product and service, and that was what created the scale for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So as someone who's got no skill set in anything digital, online marketing, online business. So as a skill set in, say, physical business and videography, hands-on. But then the thing is, if you don't have any skill set, then you can as we were saying, you're leveraging someone, another person's business, and they cover all of those resources for you. So yes, now with the skills that I've learned over 3 or 4 years of affiliate marketing, I could step back and actually leverage my own businesses through the skills I've got. But when you're starting out, you don't have that skill set, so you need to learn it. So affiliate marketing, the right company teaches you how to do that. So you can start off as an affiliate and leverage those opportunities. But the skills you learn, it's the fact that if you don't have those skills at the start, then you need to learn them, and then why not towards something that's already got the value, got the business model there.
Brilliant. So what you're saying is, whatever type of business you ultimately want to create in your life, you're going to have to learn the skill of acquiring customers online. And therefore, affiliate marketing is the perfect way to learn just that part of the process. And then you can go off and do what you like afterwards.
Exactly, because there's a product already there. If I try and leverage like my videography stuff, I've got to work out, well, how can I turn that into a digital business? How am I going to leverage that? How am I going to, I have to create a videography course, then I'm going to have to learn how to drive traffic to it. And if you don't know how to do that, then how are you going to do? Yeah, you can learn, of course you can, but you can also learn as an affiliate and then already have a great source of income through your hard work and your learning process. Learn whilst you earn, and then once you learn that, got an income from it, then you can go, okay, actually, I actually want to, grow my own ideas, my own business, or whatever venture you go on. But it really is a great starting point. And
awesome.
And a continuing point.
A continuing point as well. Love it. What would you say, Dave, were some of the biggest challenges that you came up against in the early stages when you started?
I think a lot of the challenges can be, stigmatized. Sometimes I think your own sort of like feeling inside, think, oh, I'm getting into, what am I doing now? And as a video marketer, personally, I do video marketing. You do, you can get a lot of sort of like a bit of a stigma against you, like, oh, what are you doing? What is it you're involved with? Because people don't really necessarily quite understand what it is you're doing. Start. So I think the biggest challenges usually are internal, your own battles of like, oh, what am I doing here? Like putting, videos out on the internet and stuff. But once the world is changing and evolving, and people realize that, you're just doing affiliate marketing, it's just a business you're running. You're part of an educational company. It's no different, to any other business. I think most challenges, obviously there's technical challenges and but all of those can be overcome through being a part of a community. And again, why being a part of a good educational company, or even as an affiliate for a good affiliate company, is going to help to actually teach you, these hurdles. So technical challenges can always be overcome. Relatively straightforward. I think it's your own internal battles of whatever it is. If you're, stigmatized about what you're doing, you just got to overcome that. I think those really, really, that's it, really. I mean, more challenges, always little challenges, but the biggest one, I think, is usually in your own mind.
I think you nailed it, mate. It's so much, and I relate to this as well massively. When I first started, the biggest challenges were in my own head, like getting out my own way, overcoming that little voice that was telling me all the reasons that I couldn't do it, all the reasons I shouldn't do it. And like you say, sometimes there'll be loved ones, friends, family who are like, what are you doing? Why are you getting involved in some or what is this online stuff you're up to? And they don't get it. And like, that can be difficult. when you're in those early stages. And I think what you're saying about the technical challenges as well is just, you're spot on, that any technical challenge, you can learn how to overcome it. It's like learning to drive a car. You don't know how to drive a car, but then everyone learns how to drive a car. It just takes a little bit of time. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that, mate. Would you say, so when you went down this path, right, and you ended up creating, you started seeing results, you started generating income, and you started doing it in a way that you weren't trading your time to do it, so it was leveraged. What did that allow you to then start doing in your life? How did the freedom that you talk about start to appear, basically?
Yeah, so it started to get quite exciting once I started seeing results and realizing, wow, this is pretty powerful. The freedom was just huge. I mean, I actually I just booked a flight to Cape Town. I was like, right, I think it was in 2019. I was like, right, I'm just going to book a flight to Cape Town, one-way ticket. Well, you can't really do a one-way ticket. They don't let you into the country unless you've got an exit strategy. So I had a one-way ticket with it on back, but 6 months later or whatever it was. But the plan, I basically just went off and was like, right, I'm going to go and live abroad in Cape Town for 6 months, because that is, that was a goal of something I really wanted to do. So to be able to literally just pack up and go out there with a laptop, the cliche, just literally the laptop and a few bags and a few stuff. But I did, and I was like, well, I am doing that. And so it was quite a nice feeling from, grafting away on my business. People were like, what are you doing? It was just like, well, do you know what? I'm going to go and live abroad for 6 months and just hoon around out there kite surfing. And I did, and just check in and just steer my business in the right direction, for 20 minutes a day, and spend the rest on the beach kite surfing for 6 months was a massive sort of statement to myself, and not a statement, it was just something I wanted to do. So in terms of freedom, back that was what I wanted to do. I was like, I just want to up and go, and I did. So yeah, and then obviously since then I've come back and I don't have an aspiration to go off and live abroad for huge amounts of time, but financially, there's just huge amount of support there now coming from the business, and skill sets that I've learned. I've now diversified and transferred into other things. And now,
awesome.
There's lots going on. But the freedom it gave me is huge.
Amazing, mate. And I remember because obviously I came out to Cape Town and saw you, and we did the safari.
Right, we finally made it. It is safari time. You're going to see some lions and some rhinos and some elephants and some buffalo and some cheetah, which is the big five. It's the big five, right?
And then it was Chris and Sandy's wedding while we were all out there. It's fantastic, mate. That safari was probably one of the best trips that I've ever been on. I loved it. Like, do you remember the lions?
Those never forget them. Never forget.
Like right beside the Land Rover.
No sudden movements.
No movements.
Yeah, anyone who's been on safari, this was mental. And lions literally all around the vehicle, and the geezer just turned the engine off. I know, because I've been on a couple of safaris that I'm sure they normally, like around lions, like would keep the engine on. He just turned all the engines off. We had like a pack of lions all around us.
Okay, just no sudden movements, all right? No sudden movements.
Who's sitting there saying like, I can't move now, everyone be quiet. I'm like, are we gonna die?
You can't start now, just sit dead still. Don't move a thing. Just stay relaxed and calm. That's fine. They're moving slowly.
If they wanted us, there was absolutely no escape. Even if that guy turned the engine on and tried drive away, they would have been on us, and just the girls would have been eaten alive because they were the
joys of a life of freedom, eh? No, I mean, to sort of to make a point here, it sounds like you and I, in fact, I know that you and I both very much went on the same kind of journey. It's like we created the freedom. I did the traveling thing in 2018, and actually coming and seeing you in Cape Town was pretty much the start of 2019 was like the end of me going off gallivanting around the world. And then like you say, you kind of reach this point, don't you, where you've done a load of adventure, and that's been good fun. And then you kind of want to maybe settle down a little bit more, establish some roots, that kind of thing. And I certainly know from my perspective, it's like it's different once you've done the adventure thing and you know that you can do it and you have the choice and you have the control of what you do with your life and your time. It's a difficult to explain feeling, isn't it? When you have that ability. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it definitely, there's like, it just cures one of those internal bugs that you have. Like I used to have a slight sort of like always these like moments of like, shit, you know, I've got to you know, what can I do to like get some more, you know, some more solid income coming in, whereas I sort of know that I've got that more. I'm not saying I've got life sorted, but like it's definitely ticked a massive box that I can just tap into and sort of turn on when I need it.
Yeah, and I think again your example of kite surfing during the day and just doing your thing and having fun while your business is ticking away for you in the background. I know a lot of people would say that sounds too good to be true. Like how can that be possible? You know, what would you say to someone that's thinking, like, really, you can set up a business that does that and just go kite surfing during the day? Come on, what would you say?
Well, I mean, it's no different to any other business, really. I think if you have any business, even if you have a shop, you know, like, you know, you have it's just the same. You know, you could, if you employ someone and you own a shop, then you can go off kite surfing all day and you've got someone running it. I mean, an online business is no different. It's just that, you know, you have to build the infrastructure, but you know, once you've got, you know, you are running once you've got your business generating, you know, it's moving, you've got a flow there, then it's 100% completely achievable. It's just like any other business. It's just that it's online, and you don't have a shop front, where you sort of do online somewhere, but it's completely achievable. It just takes hard work to start, obviously, like anything, and then once you've got it up and running, you just have to keep steering the train in the right direction. And yeah, I mean, it's there's nothing. I can't think what I'm going to say there. Lost for words.
Yeah, there's nothing that's actually hugely complicated about it when you get your head around it. And I remember starting to learn about this stuff, and it was like this whole new world of opportunity was opened up when you start getting that you don't need to attach your time to money. So, like, for example, you're watching this video, you're watching me and Dave have a conversation about Dave's results. And during this video, I might say, oh, you know, if you wanted to also learn from the same community that taught Dave the stuff that he's learned and taught me the stuff that I've learned and helped us start our first businesses, then in the top corner of this video, either just up there or just below, I'll pop a button so that you can actually learn from the same community and get started. Now, the point is, obviously, one, that button's there, so you actually can if you did want to learn. But the number two, we're not sitting here doing this video as you're watching this video. So when you're watching this video, we've already done it. Dave could be off kite surfing again, and this video will now be online, and it makes no difference whether one person watches it, 100 people watch it, 10,000 people watching it. We don't need to put more time in to make that happen. And so this is the whole fundamental concept of what Dave and I are talking about here, about affiliate marketing. It's like you're leveraging systems, you're leveraging technology, and by doing that, it means you're then detached from it and you set it up, and then you're free to go and do your thing. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that, oh, you just, you know, you do a few things and then for the rest of your life you just make money, because, you know, this video might rank on YouTube, it might not rank on YouTube. You know, there's going to be times where things that you do you need to redo some things, or you know, do new ads or new videos or new campaigns. But the point is that you're detaching your time from money. So, Dave, what advice would you give to someone? Let's say that they're thinking, all right, this does sound interesting. This is something that I might want to learn about, but maybe they do have some of those internal limiting fears, you know, doubts. Can I really do this? Maybe I don't have the technical skills. What advice would you give to someone that's kind of on the fence, but a little bit concerned, or they got some doubts?
Well, I just basically think just take baby steps to start. I mean, you just basically just get involved, and just take baby steps. If you are really concerned, then you can ease yourself in. Like, you do want to, I mean, the best way to get big results is to take big action and get involved. But if you are struggling or with like internal battles, then I think educating yourself and learning about what you can achieve is so powerful. And if you're holding yourself back, then just take it a bit slower, but just ease yourself in, just get involved, but just don't deny yourself what you can get out of life through educating and just taking on new skills. So what I'm saying is just step by step, get involved, do what you've got to do, and just keep moving forward, but don't completely pull yourself out and deny yourself what awesome opportunities you can have through learning new skills. And eventually you'll get some momentum and some internal belief. And where it takes you, you just never know. I mean, it might just be the starting blocks of something completely new to you, which just leads on to great things. So yeah, basically just have that belief and take it each step as it comes, and just keep moving forward and keep the momentum, and that will build and build and build. And then you'll just be crushing it and loving life.
Love it. So even though you can't see all the steps ahead of you, you can see the first few. Just take the first few, and you just got to trust that the next few will start to open up as you begin taking those steps. Yeah,
that's it. It's not, you don't have to have all the answers right at the start, because you won't. It's just taking little chunk by chunks as you move forward, and the path will open.
Well, yeah, exactly. It will reveal itself before you.
Exactly,
Very philosophical.
Whatever that path may be, just keep going down it.
Love it.
I think it's being inquisitive, and I think I'm always open-minded and inquisitive rather than denial and putting barriers in front of you because you want to create an easy excuse and an easy out when things get challenging or challenge your whatever it may be. But have a more inquisitive and open mind and being driven, and those combinations will keep pushing you down that path to success, rather than putting up barriers too soon, and using those as an excuse to like pull the ejector handle, which you see, and that's where people fail, because they just pull the ripcord too soon and put up a barrier, because that's easy. But it's harder to keep pushing through those hurdles and have an open mind. Is the jet fuel, is the the Navi with a knife on a rock, just keep going.
Keep chipping away. Brilliant. So what would you say is next for David? So you've achieved everything that you've achieved. You've learned all of the new skills that you've learned. You've now opened up this potential for the rest of your life. What would you say is next for you on the journey? What's the future looking like?
Well, I think that it's an ongoing. I think the thing is we're always learning and growing, and everything's evolving, adapting. So I've had success and I'm maintaining that. But of course, you've got to be realistic. You still got to work hard. Still got to keep things moving. So everything's evolving. So I'm constantly learning and taking my business to new heights. But I'm also diversifying now, because I've just learned so much. New opportunities naturally have come up. So I'm working on other projects, other businesses, and using these skills that are so transferable into the walks of life. I talked about I was a videographer. I still am, and I still love doing that. So I'm like revisiting things, or how can I get into stuff that I'm actually I do really love, but how can I scale that and turn that into a business that actually does not have the hurdles it used to? How can I leverage my skill set and turn that into a business and overcome the hurdles I had before? So it's not like I've done this to replace everything in my life. This has just been everything slowed down whilst I put a lot of energy into this. Whereas now I'm like revisiting all the things that I love, businesses that I love, and using my transferable skills to scale those and diversify into multiple businesses.
Got it. And so the difference was when you, for example, just going right back to the start, when you were doing your videography, you had to do it to pay the bills, to earn an income, and you had to do it in a way that was requiring you to be tied to certain locations based on whatever job you had to go and do. But then by going down the path of learning affiliate marketing, you were able to secure yourself financially. You were able to create an income that was separate from your time. You were able to then go and live life, do all this fun stuff you wanted to do, have the freedom. And then with that baseline and that stability, with the freedom box ticked and the financial box ticked, you're then free to go back and focus on the things you love, but in a way that is not restricting your life. You can do videography for the love of it, as opposed to because you have to do it in a way that doesn't fit your lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And it takes a lot of the when you're so tied down to like you're kind of, it's got you by the balls because you have to like, whereas you sort of like, you kind of got the upper hand now because you're like, oh, actually I can take this on at a completely different angle. If that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. Mate, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I think just that journey, and especially how you've come full circle, but doing it from a space of being free to do what you love instead of having to do things to earn an income. I think that is the absolute epitome of what affiliate marketing enables people to do. And I think you're the perfect example, mate, of somebody who's walked the path, achieved the result, and now puts a lot of effort into helping back and giving to other people as well. For example, sharing your experience here. There may be somebody who watches this and thinks, okay, that's inspiring. I can see myself doing what Dave's done, which is awesome. So, buddy, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing. Always a pleasure to speak to you, and we'll have a proper catch up again some point soon.
Yes, mate. Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate. I'll see you soon.